What is the meaning to life?
The meaning to life.
That big dramatic question.
That's assuming life has a meaning, but
Exactly.
life has whatever meaning you want to put on it. Now, it's like kind of a personal thing. What is the meaning to life to me? Meaning to life to me is to have as much fun as I can possibly can, while at the same time spreading as much joy as I can. I have a hedonistic viewpoint of life, but I'd say the meaning of life changes from person to person depending on what you want the meaning of life to be. We make our own meaning. There's no set meaning to life as far as I'm aware of.
Okay. If evolution is how we came to be, where did intelligence come from? No other creature can develop it, no other apes. So what is the chance that we would develop? So what is the chance we would divide from them?
I don't know what that question means. They've done tests where apes do some memory tests much better than humans do.
I watched that. That was dumbfounding.
And they can teach apes sign language, and if you have dogs at all, if you're an animal person at all, I can tell you my dogs are incredibly intelligent. So
yeah, I think that's just one of those ignorant statements. They didn't understand or didn't even mind to research it. So
a denial of evolution is just shameful. It's like you're basically a science denier, which a science denier is the dumbest thing you can possibly believe. It's dumber. One of the worst things you can call somebody is a Holocaust denier. We make fun of people for being Holocaust deniers, and I believe the Holocaust happened. But you would have to be dumber to believe science didn't happen than to believe the Holocaust didn't happen, because the proof of science is all around you. So to be a science denier and evolution denier makes you the biggest idiot on the world, man. It's obvious that you haven't researched it even the minimal amount if you think evolution didn't happen or isn't happening continuously all around us.
And that's what my biggest fight is. I've been talking to people. I was like, even Christians are starting to accept evolution because of the evidence. And they're like, well, where's our tail? I was like,
some people are born with tails. It happens, actually quite frequently where they have to cut off people's tails. But the thing is people don't understand that people think that evolution teaches that we evolved from monkeys when it didn't. Evolution teaches that we and apes and monkeys evolved from a common ancestor and some kind of marsupial type animal in our back in the past. So it's basically a misunderstanding of evolution. They don't even know the very basics, which is sad because they teach the basics in like 10th grade science class. So I don't know where those people were that day they were teaching that shit, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was that kid when I was a Christian. I would fight with the biology teacher why they didn't teach creationism.
Oh, me too, man. I've had arguments with biology teachers and shit about that. I don't know if you know what Ken Hovind is, but I was a Ken Hovind disciple. I was a young Earth creationist. So I know all about that shit. I know everything that they say, and I know how to counter it because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. This one is a very interesting one, I thought. It is from my cousin Mike. I love you, Mike. I'm not dissing you. I'm just going where this is going.
Okay.
He said, why do you believe there is no God, and how do you explain a miracle? Well, this is the funny part. This is what I thought was so interesting. He said that he was hearing God's voice about you, that he was telling him about you.
What was God saying about me?
Exactly. This was what proved my point. I need to find the text real quick. He said, does his name start with a B? Also, if you ask him, his right ankle is sore. Recently sprained. And your grandpa is sick. He has a heart problem.
Okay, both my grandpas are dead. My name starts with a D. No sprained ankles. I feel fine. So wrong on every possible count you could be wrong on.
And that is what made me laugh so much. I love you, Mike, but it helped me prove my point, buddy.
Exactly. You proved our point for us. No reason to answer that, but I will answer it. It depends on what you mean by miracle. I mean, there's I can't remember what the theory's called, but I have to look it up. It's named after some guy. But basically the theory is that every single month you will see a miracle, because a miracle is something that is a 1 in a million chance of happening. And if you see an event happen every second, then you'll see at least one miracle every month. And it's just one thing that's very unlikely to happen is what's considered a miracle. So yeah. It's not very hard to understand. It's basically just confirmation bias. You ignore all the things that don't confirm what you want to believe, and then you pay attention to the very few things that do confirm what you want to believe.
Yeah. And this one is from my other friend. She said, how would they explain miracles? It says, how would you explain eyesight restored, limbs growing back, etc., when praying to God?
I've never seen any evidence of any limbs growing back. In fact, that's one of the atheists' biggest arguments. Why won't God heal amputees? Never seen it, never seen any evidence of any limbs growing back. As far as eyesight and stuff, then that's modern science. Has anybody ever been healed of blindness without going to a doctor and having any kind of modern surgery done on their eyes? If so, I've never seen it. Never seen any evidence for this whatsoever. So provide the evidence. If it exists, I'd like to see it. And I certainly haven't yet.
What do you think is going to happen when you die?
I've never died before, so I don't know. As far as I know, nothing. I'm worm food, and I cease to exist. But, I'm open-minded. I hope that there's something else after this life that I go on to. But since I haven't seen any evidence of it, I don't believe it. I'll find out when I get there. All I know is I'm alive right now. I'm going to enjoy my life as much as I possibly can enjoy it right now while I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's like you said in that video of yours. You really hope there's a naked lady up there or something.
Exactly. I hope I'm God. I hope I live a God-like existence, and I can do whatever I want to in the afterlife, and I can have sex with anybody I want to, and I can fly around, and that's what I want to happen. But I've seen no evidence of that, so that's just a hope without having a belief in it. It's possible to hope for something without believing in it. There's a big difference between hope and faith. That's what people don't understand. People think that hope and faith are the same thing, but they're two completely separate concepts.
Yeah, people try and say, you're an atheist, you believe in science, so you have faith in science. No.
No, well, see, they don't understand the difference between faith and probability. I don't know if you saw my last video, my last Blog TV video where I went over that.
I can't get Blog TV, sadly. It won't let me.
What? Outrageous.
Yeah.
Well, I had to put it up on YouTube, and I talked about this, about how it's just that they don't understand the difference between probability and faith. Probability is looking at the evidence and based upon the evidence, deciding what is more probable to be true than not. It takes absolutely no faith as long as you have evidence. Faith is only required when you don't have evidence, because faith is the belief in things without evidence. So right up to the point where you don't have evidence anymore is only the time faith comes in. And if you have evidence, that's probability. It's not faith.
Exactly. It's like if I drop this paper, I know by probability it is going to fall every time.
Exactly.
For some chance it goes up. There's something wrong.
Exactly. It's very simple to understand. It's just that they really haven't thought about it. The problem is most people live their lives where they have to go to their jobs and school, and they take care of their kids, and they have to do all these chores, and they're completely kept busy all the time with little minutiae of life, and they don't really have time in their life to research stuff and gain knowledge, so they don't know what the fuck's going on or what the fuck they're talking about. And it's pretty evident when you talk to these people. Yeah,
and I like to use the term a lot because Christians use it. They have blind faith, and that's exactly what it is. And
that's exactly what it is. You're right. Complete blind faith. It's the dumbest shit you can possibly have. I just believe it because I want to believe it. It feels good to believe it, so I do. It can't get dumber than that.
Exactly. That's what my friend says. He's the least ambitious person I know, but he's my brother. He's my best friend. But I've talked to him about it. He's a Christian. But he'll try to start arguments with me, and then he'll be like, "Stop! I don't want to know. I want to believe in the God. I don't want to know."
I see, people ask me questions all the time, and then they won't listen to the answers. And I'm like, "Why did you even ask me? You don't even want to know the answer, so why did you ask me? It's ridiculous." But they asked me because they didn't think I'd have an answer. That's why they asked me. And then when they find out I do have an answer, they're like, "I don't even want to hear their answer."
Exactly. And then they get all mad because you're questioning their beliefs.
Exactly. They want to live in their fantasy world, and they don't want you to wake them up.
I didn't comment on this on my Facebook, but someone posted on my wall when I was asking for questions for you, there is no good or bad religion. What's your point on this?
There's no good religion. I agree with that part.
Yeah.
So, religion is nothing but bad. I mean, it's nothing but fairy tales. It's nothing but basing your life on nothing but fairy tales. If you know anything about memetics, basically what you are, your entire personality is made up of memes. It's memes that are all built on top of each other, and the very foundation of religious people's memes are based on fairy tales and lies. So if the foundations of what you believe are lies and fairy tales, then everything on top of that is on shaky ground. So it does nothing but harm you. You don't understand how reality works, and if you don't understand how reality works, it actually doesn't help you very much in your life. Understanding reality actually helps you in your life.
Yeah. This was my uncle. He was trying to be funny. Before or after showers, do you slaughter your animals?
It's like asking me what time of day I drink my baby's blood.
Yeah.
But the thing about animal slaughter is really a religious thing, so I should ask him the same question.
Oh, Dusty, I love you.
Love you back, man.
Why do you think